What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the newest generation Dodge Charger Hellcat wide body. Big shout out and thank you to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this wide body Hellcat for today's video. They have a crazy selection of nearly brand new cars, probably one of the biggest selections of inventory that I've seen in today's crazy market. So let's get right into this Charger. And the model that we're looking at today is the Hellcat Redeye, finished off in white knuckle, and has a list price around $93,000. Underneath the hood, the Hellcat Redeye utilizes a massive 6.2 liter supercharged 8-cylinder engine. This V8 pumps out 797 horsepower with 707 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and sends the power to the rear wheels. And with a curb weight at 4,600 pounds, you're still looking at 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds and a top speed at 203 miles per hour. This car even runs on an 18.5 gallon fuel tank and can get 12 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. The overall length is 200 inches with wheelbase at 120. Width is 75 inches and height is 57.8. Moving to the exterior styling now, with this Charger Hellcat Redeye, this has a really nice look with the wide body design. It definitely gives it a ton of road presence. The front bumper has a lot of sharp lines. You can see the functional air inlet in this bottom portion to allow a ton of cool air to enter the bumper and cool off the intercooler. We also have a functional intake duct in the center of the bumper, as well as a massive grille up top. I like the LED headlights that have a blacked out design with the LED DRLs running around them. Your SRT logo is over on the right side, and you can also see that really cool Hellcat badge. The front end definitely comes together really well to make this car stand out. And then as we move to the hood, you can see how it flows its way to the front portion of the bumper. We get a functional air intake duct right in the center that'll feed cool air to the cold air intake. And then we have two functional heat extraction vents in the backside of the hood. And I also love the power dome design. You can see the raised portion right in the center, telling you that there's a big old supercharger underneath the hood. And then moving to the side profile, you can already see how on the back side of the front bumper, the wide body starts for these fender flares. It has a really cool look that you don't see on other cars. We get a set of 20-inch wheels in all four corners, finished off in this multi-spoke design, and they're satin black. I also especially love how concave they are. Might not come off on camera, but these are extremely concave wheels. We have a massive set of Brembo brakes up front, finished off in red, and they are 6 pistons. We even get 2-piece ventilated rotors with the slotted cuts. They have a really cool look. Then you can see more of the wide body with the Hellcat logo on this front fender. And then moving to the side profile, I think the Dodge Charger in general has a really good proportion. It looks like that classic muscle car design with a lot of cool bold lines. You can see how the rear fender arches are just like we saw up front, and we get a really sharp set of lines all around. You can see how the upper portion of the door cuts this line all the way towards the front, and then it slopes down and goes towards the side skirt and the backs of these doors. We also get a set of body colored door handles and body colored mirror caps, and then blacked out B-pillars to blend all the glass seamless. We get a body colored roof, and then really nice lines as we make our way to the rear end. You can see the sharp line leading to the trunk lid, where you're gonna see this deck mounted spoiler. And then moving back here, we have a set of LED taillights that connect from one side to the other. I think that's a really classic design for these new Dodge cars. We get Dodge written out in the center with a backup camera right above that. There's an aggressive vent over on the left side of the rear bumper, and then you're gonna see all of your parking sensors throughout the center. We get some sharp lines, your license plate in the center, and then a blacked out rear diffuser and your dual exhaust system. So there's a good look at the exterior of the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat Redeye with the wide body kit. It's a really cool looking sedan. We have Dodge's key fob. You can opt for the red key, which is also going to come with this car to give you all the power. But if I lock the car and then double tap on the start stop button, the engine is going to fire right up. That is one loud Hemi already. I don't know if you heard me at all, but that has a really good sound to it. But then keeping this car locked, I can leave the key fob in my pocket. I can grab the door handle and it's going to automatically unlock, and we can check out the interior. The interior of this Hellcat, you're gonna see red leather seats with white stitching, and then there's also black accents all throughout. If we take a look at the door panel now, finish off in the two-tone, we get the black up top with contrast stitching, and then all the red leather towards the center. Has a really nice sporty look. You get some padding on the armrest with your grab handle, then all of your window controls with your mirror controls. Release handle is up top with your memory seating. Then we get a speaker down below, and then a little bit of storage space. Moving inside, you can see the power controls on the left side of the seat. We even get SRT down on the carpeted floor mat. And then all the red leather for the seats. I love the contrast stitching. We get perforated leather all in the center, and then a really cool stitching design on these bolsters. They have a lot of good padding, and they look really nice for sure. You can see the same perforated leather in the center with the stitching design, SRT logo on the backrests. Really good set of seats. And then we have a black leather steering wheel with some silver accents. And then now inside the SRT, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, we have your tach over on the left side with your speedometer to the right, and then we get an LCD digital display right in the center. You can control that using the controls on the left side of the steering wheel. So if we take a look at the center screen right now, we have your digital speedometer. I can go down into vehicle information, and we have a ton of different pages as you scroll left and right through here. There's a lot of different parameters within this car that you can read, which is really good to have, especially with the performance. Going down into performance, we have more things you can see, like a 0 to 60 timer, 0 to 100, all sorts of different things to see. So you can tell you are in a very performance-oriented vehicle. I love everything that you're going to get in this car. We also have more information like MPG, things like that. And you can continue scrolling down. We have quite a few different pages to see pretty much everything within this car. And then taking a look at the actual steering wheel now, we have controls on the right side for all the cruise control, and then a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. It's only the upper portion right here. They are kind of small, but they are finished off in metal. We have buttons on the back side of the steering wheel for the radio volume, as well as the actual tuning. And then on the left stalk, you can see your turn signal stalk with all the windshield wiper controls. On the left of the steering wheel now, we have all the headlight controls, as well as a trunk button and interior lighting. And then we get some cool metal look for this plastic trim around the gauges and the air vent. Black leather along the dash with some more of the white stitching. And then all black trim over on this far right side. And then moving to the touchscreen infotainment, you can see how everything is laid out right now for media. You can tap the climate icon and hit controls. We have heated and ventilated seats with the heated steering wheel. We have settings right here if I have the car on. And then we have more controls right here. You also have your apps icon that you can come up with all sorts of different things in here. Pages, performance, settings, things like that. We have the phone integration. Then we have your settings icon. And then over here, if we go into performance, you can see how this page will load. You have power, G-force meter. You can adjust and add more. You have your current gear. You can have timers that'll all come up. You can see everything right here. We also have more of the gauges for temperatures. So all sorts of different things, engine information, and even a built-in dynamometer, which is really cool. Moving below the screen now, we have all of your controls for volume on the left, tuning over on the right. We have your launch control icon. This SRT icon you can tap as well, and it comes up with even more information. You can see the launch control active right there. You can adjust the RPM. We also have more information. This chiller right here is very cool. It uses the climate control's air conditioning to cool off the air for the supercharged engine, which is an awesome feature. And you have a few more different things you can see. Underneath that, we also have controls for climate. You can see your fan speed right in the center. We also have the off icon. It comes up on the screen when you do make any adjustments. We have the front and rear defrost, dual zone temperature, then the air conditioning control. We also have some storage down below with a 12 volt, your leather shift knob with a really cool design. And we get a little bit of storage space. We can pull this back to reveal 2 cup holders and a good storage spot for a cell phone or even a key fob. We have black leather and more stitching. Then we can open up this center. We have a removable tray. then a pretty good amount of space in here with USB ports and another 12 volt. If we close that, take a look over here at the glove box. We have a pretty good amount of storage space in here as well. And then one last look at the interior with the Dodge Charger. We're probably getting to the end of this line of generation. I think they are probably pretty close to making an all new car. It's been around for a little while, but nonetheless, it's pretty nicely laid out in here and has a lot of good features. Up top, we have garage door openers and your dome light. And then taking a look at the rear seat space, if I open up the rear door panels finished off just like we saw up front with the two-tone colors, and the back seats are even finished in the same red with all the same stitching design. This is a 3-seater back here. We get storage on the back side of these front seats, heated rear seats, 2 USBs, and even climate control vents. And then sitting now in the back of the Charger Hellcat, I'm 5'11". I actually have pretty good headroom back here. I can sit up nice and straight. My head is about a ½ inch underneath the glass. The armrest is in a pretty good place, and the seats are reclined at a good angle towards actually pretty comfortable. You have a pretty large glass window here. However, this is kind of in your way for visibility, so it feels a little bit tighter than how it should, being such a big vehicle. But nonetheless, I am sitting here pretty comfortably. In the center, you do not get any sort of armrest or anything, so just 3 people are going to sit back here. But you also do get some grab handles up top with LED lights. Moving on to the trunk space, you can double tap the button on the key fob or use the one that was on the interior and it'll pop right and open. We have a pretty good amount of storage space in here. This is a larger sedan, much larger than most other cars out there. So you could certainly fit probably 4 golf bags back here, any luggage that you need. So definitely nice to see all this space. And then after folding down the rear seats, you can see just how much more storage space we have entering through the passenger compartment. The only way to fold these down is pulling the tabs inside here. There's no levers in the trunk. They fold down almost flat, so it does give you quite a lot of extra storage space, but nonetheless pretty practical for a sporty sedan. All right guys, so we are setting off now in the Redeye. Wow, that already sounds really good. I got the red key for the test drive. That way we can kind of feel out a little bit more. We do have some miles on the odometer, so we can get on it just a little bit and feel out what this car is like. But as far as normal driving, as I kind of get my bearings with it, this is really comfortable. You can tell that the suspension is crazy stiff. I feel so many bumps right now. This is a very, very tight car for being a huge sedan. Probably the biggest sedan on the market, aside from like a Rolls Royce or something. But it's got some size to it. Huge view out the front windshield. You can see the hood, which looks really cool. I can even see the heat extraction vents. Pretty good view out the whole front and everything like that. Looking over my left and right shoulder, you have a really good view around as well. Armrests in a great place, and these seats are really comfortable. This is a nice place to be for a daily driver, honestly. Suspension just is a little bit stiff. As far as some fun factors, so we can put it over into manual mode, then we'll use these steering wheel paddle shifters. Just barely touching the gas, you can hear that whine. And the exhaust has a little bit of gurgles when you let off the accelerator. The steering is nice and tight feeling. It's gonna be interesting being a rear-wheel drive car how it handles. You get some pops and everything on the exhaust. And these massive brakes do a really good job bringing this down. Man. So slow acceleration up to 60. So far it's not feeling that crazy fast, to be quite honest, but that was just a slow roll. Let's feel out some handling before we do a real good acceleration. But taking some sharp turns, I'm actually impressed how there is no body roll. How I mentioned earlier, it's a really stiff suspension. That is really good for such a heavy car. We're going 60, 65 around these turns, and it is really actually pretty tight. There's no body roll when you go back and forth left and right like that. It's actually pretty well balanced for how heavy it is. Alright, a little bit of an acceleration from third gear. It's decently quick, being that it weighs so much, it kind of kills some of the performance just because while you have almost 800 horsepower, you got an SUV's weight. So it's not crazy fast. It'll do some crazy top speed and pretty good launch control and everything if you can get traction. But from a roll like that, you know, it's nothing really too all impressive. But we'll do a slower speed one now in first gear and kind of feel it out. The paddles, I do wish they were bigger, but nonetheless, first gear, we get into second. It's all right, you know, it's quick, but it doesn't really throw you back in the seat. I think just being such a heavy car, you know, while Dodge throws these massive motors in these cars, they weigh so much, so the power to weight ratio is not that impressive. But I know from experience, if you tune this motor, make it about 1,000 horsepower, which is so easy, with a smaller pulley, maybe some E85, full bolt-ons and tuning it, you have 1,000 horsepower now, and then you are serious performance. So it's a really good platform if you do want that kind of luxury feeling sedan that has the sizing and space, and then you get that power plant to where you can tune it up and make this a complete monster. It's pretty quick stock though. I mean, it's cool to drive for sure, and I like how being the Redeye, you know, with the upgraded suspension, all that good stuff that this car is going to offer over a standard Hellcat. I like how you really do get a good suspension. That was really impressive. And then doing a tight turn, the backup camera, a little outdated. You know, this interior is kind of old, so I can see that getting much nicer in the upcoming model change. But you got the backup camera and those sensors, and it sounds really good. All right, so flipping over to POV. So slow acceleration in automatic there. It does seem to rev out a little bit, and the first initial gear change, it kind of jerks you just a little bit as well. So it's got a pretty good feedback in this transmission to where you can feel the gear change like that. Once you're cruising normal driving, I mean, you don't really feel any gear changes or anything like that. It's a pretty smooth power plant. These seats are really comfortable. I definitely like sitting in them. So we'll go back into the manual mode and we'll do another acceleration. I love these sounds you get from the supercharger especially, but definitely pretty cool. Second gear. So it gets up to speed. You know, that was pretty good on the gas. Definitely makes some cool sounds to it. But this is definitely a car that if you really want it to be one of the fastest cars out there, do some tuning to it. That's gonna make it crazy. But overall, driving in the Hellcat, it's a cool car. I really like how it does give you such a blend of everything. It handles way better than I expected. I feel like it handles better than the Challenger. I think the Charger, I don't know, just something about it. Feels like it's a lower car too or something. Feel some pops back there. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. And then big shout out and thank you to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this car for today's video. They have some great inventory in stock ready to go in today's crazy market. So definitely check out their website if you're looking for a car. They have a lot in stock. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next video.